Hello, welcome. I'm Claudia if you're new here, and if you're back, thank you so much for coming back. We are officially at our end of year planty content. Today we are going over my 2025 favorite houseplants, and these are plants that I've just enjoyed a little extra growing this year. I'll try to keep it brief when I'll speak a little bit about each of them, but I'll give you a little bit of a story on them. I do have 10 plants and then I believe 4 honorable mentions, and I'll let you know why they're honorable mentions and not quite made my favorite. And as I was making this list and going through my collection, I really took some time to walk my collection. I looked at my camera roll just to see what I was kind of capturing the most of or like being really excited about. And I'm a little bit surprised at my list, honestly. I feel like as I was planning, or I knew that I was going to be shooting this video and planning it, I was starting to get a little bit concerned that I was like, is this gonna, like, are these end of year, like, are my favorite plants gonna always be my favorite plants? And truth of the matter is, yes, I made that video of like, if I could only have 10 plants, this is what they would be, and those are my all-time favorite plants. However, this top plants of 2025 are plants that I've just, I don't know, they just gave me a little extra. Hunter says hello. You can't see him, but you can hear him. Lay down, please. Anyway, these are plants that just brought me a little bit of extra joy, or were just a little bit extra more enjoyable to grow and see grow this year. And my list is quite different from last year. So you're in for a treat and you might be as surprised as I was. Let's see how it goes. In no particular order, let's get started. First one I'm gonna show you is my Philodendron polypodioides. I got this plant, I want to say like either end of summer of 24 or fall of 24, and I honestly didn't know how I would do with it. I was a little bit concerned, as I typically am with like new types of plants. Like this is a philodendron, obviously, so we can say like, you know, we can check the boxes of a typical philodendron. But I mean, its foliage is so different and wispy, and yeah, I'm a chronic underwater, as we know, so I just didn't know how it was going to go. But to my, also these used to be really, really expensive. When I got it, they weren't anywhere near as expensive anymore. I forget how much I paid for it, but the price tag certainly made me a little bit nervous, made me feel like it was just more special and probably more difficult. Like not a lot of people, even now I feel like not a lot of people have it. And sure, it probably has to do with the look, like it's not for everybody. That's not what somebody or what everyone or a lot of people typically like. I happen to love it. But anyway, I put it in this self-water. Oh, it's due for repot. Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen, or like very few philodendron have these type of super chunky roots. I am so surprised. Okay, so we will be repotting him soon, but I decided to place him, he's either in an aroid mix or in a tree fern perlite mix, and I just placed him in a self-watering pot. It lived over on the floor next to my desk behind you, getting light from this southwest facing glass door, but again, it's super covered, so it's not like it's really getting that much light. And it now lives over on the wall over here above my municipal wine cabinet, getting low light. And I mean, it's doing well. Like this is the previous leaf it gave me. Are these called fronds, or are they called leaves? It's a good question. And here we have another one coming out. I would say it's on the slower-ish side of growth, but I don't mind it. I think it's super cute. I love how whimsy it is. It's like, yeah, I just keep saying whimsy. Like it's just so feathery, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about it, and I really, really love the dimension that it brings to my space and my collection. I really love the way it looks up there on the wall. And yeah, it's been really, really fun to grow. This next one might be the one overlap we have to last year, and it is none other than my Monstera albo, but I chose this particular albo. I have 3 of them, I guess. Yeah, I have 3 Monstera albos, and I am picking this particular one very specifically above the other 2 because these were the additional 2 nodes. They were wet sticks actually that I sprouted, and I decided to pot up together, and they have been doing really nicely. They are potted in tree fern perlite mix, and I love the color of both of them. Like, look how little this leaf is, but it's already giving me fenestrations, like in pretty big fenestrations, I feel. Geesh, I hope this lighting is okay. That looks a little better. But yeah, I am so happy to see that it did really well in the transition to potting it up together. There's a new leaf coming. This is a problem when there's multiples. Do you see it right here? And it looks to have really pretty color. I love I mean, obviously I kept these 2 wet sticks because I really loved the color that they were giving me, and yeah, I mean, obviously I loved the color, like goes without saying, but I just think that they have a very beautiful balance of the white and the green and the minty, and then also get, I don't know, like some of this. Oof. Like, it's so pretty. I really, really love this plant. I feel so lucky to have her. I mean, even when I said earlier, or whenever I do say or mention, like, I actually have 3 Monstera albos, that's still mind-blowing to me. Like, 2019, 2020, Claudia would never believe that she had 3 Monstera albos, and she even had more that she could like sell off and share with others. Like, that's unbelievable to me. I also love that this came from my original mother, so that just holds a little bit of extra value to me. And yeah, I just love her. I think she's so beautiful, and I don't know that I could ever make a favorites list where Monstera albo is not included, because to me she is just a classic staple beauty. Like, there's nothing like it. I know that there's all these other, you know, very expensive and very fancy Monsteras, but none of them compare to me to the classic Monstera albo. This next one, I'm likely gonna have to insert B-roll for most of it because it is way too big to show, but it is none other than my Snow Queen. So she has been on a journey with me. I think I put her on a pole probably a year and a half ago, maybe going on 2 years. And you know how I am a chronic underwaterer, and so it did take a minute for it to start climbing and actually rooting on the pole. And then I want to say it was sometime the end of last year, or maybe even the beginning of this year, where I decided and set my mind up to actually really try to upkeep with the pole and just see what I could do with this plant. And she's rewarded me so nicely. By no means am I perfect. Like, taking care of a moss pole or like making sure that it stays hydrated is nearly a full-time job. It's like, it's such a task. So I'm not perfect, but having said that, so the fact that I can grow leaves that are this size, being, you know, forgetful waterer to say the least, I'm just so excited about it. She's been really fun to see grow. I love to see her vine and how much she's thickened up as she's climbed the pole. Oh, it's hard to show you, but like this is crazy. Like, the fact that it still impresses me. I feel like obviously I feel like I'm a decent or a pretty good plant parent, and I know what I need to do to take care of my plants and keep them healthy and thriving, and I do take joy in being able to do that, and obviously that is always my intention, but I'm also just very realistic. Like, I am a very chronic underwater. I really will let them go completely dry, so it always still impresses me when I'm able to get such nice, to me, like, this is extraordinary growth. Like, can you believe that this is a Snow Queen pothos, like, in my collection? Like, it just still blows my mind. And yeah, she's been a lot of fun to see grow this year and to care for, and I'm excited to see what she will continue to do next year. I'm thinking that I will probably extend her one more time, and then after that I will go ahead and try to chop and extend, but it's really only one of the vines that's growing these larger leaves. The rest of the vines, you can see this one like fell off the pole, is pretty normal and normal size. I do really actually like how bushy the pole is. So when I chop and extend, okay, so I should back up. There's probably way too many plants in this pole. When I chop and extend, I would like to do like 3 vines on it just to keep kind of its full look. And I just love the spot that it is over there in the corner with the mirror. I think that it squares off the area very nicely. And yeah, I mean, she's just beautiful. Love her, and she's been so fun. I moved a little bit in hopes so that lighting will cooperate a little bit better. But next we're gonna talk about my Anthurium King of Spades. We've been on a little bit of a journey this year. I shared all of it with you, the whole spider mite situation. Frankly, it was pretty resilient, even though it did have spider mites for several months, if not even like a full year sort of situation. There wasn't that much damage on him. He'd done pretty well, as I said. But with my treatment that I did, the 21-day thing, he did drop some leaves, and then he did get a lot of damage on the new leaf that was emerging while it was in treatment. And it did take a minute. I mean, it's a little bit of a slower grower, but look at this new leaf. Isn't it stunning? It's so beautiful. King of Spades is one of my favorite Anthurium without a doubt. And it's such a, like, it's enjoyable at every stage, I feel like. I had it from a tiny little seedling as an import, and I've been able to grow it. It actually had been holding on to like 3 or 4 leaves at a time. But again, with my treatment, it did unfortunately lose a lot of those leaves. And it is a slower grower. I don't know, maybe a leaf every 2 months-ish, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to pay more attention. But I mean, they're worth the wait. They come in this like really bright red pink and eventually like harden off into this beautiful green color. They have like the beautiful like pink margin and a little bit of a pink tint in the veining. The backs are gorgeous. The texture is stunning. And yeah, just everything about it is so beautiful. And it's been so exciting to see it. I think I've had it now for a full year. This must, or even maybe a little bit longer than a full year. And it's always lived, I acclimated it first, and then I brought it in my Millsville wide cabinet, and that's where it's lived its whole life. It's in pond. Other than that, I don't do anything special for it. Gets my nutrient-rich cocktail like all my other plants. It's quite tolerant of going dry. Like the reservoir will be dry for several days before I refill, or even a week, and it doesn't skip a beat. I rarely see signs of thirst on him. I mean, I guess I don't wait that long until it's super dehydrated, but I haven't noticed any issues from like lack of care. Like if I waited too long between waterings, it doesn't give me any trouble at all. I do try not to touch or like not to let other plants mess with like its new emergence, just because Anthurium in general don't like that. They can often show cosmetic damage if while they're expanding they're being caught somewhere or like touched by another plant or whatever. But I find this one to be very beautiful and pretty easygoing. Again, it's slow grower, but who cares? When your growth looks like this, it's worth the wait. Next, we're gonna talk about another Anthurium, and this is my Anthurium Zara Michelle Carla hybrid. And I got it, had I think like 2 small leaves, or maybe it had all 3. And you can see the original leaves don't look that great. And I don't really know. I mean, I had it acclimating over on my grow shelf for a while before I brought it into my Mills Bow Tall cabinet, and I, you know, placed it in pawn, and then it recently, maybe not so recently, a couple weeks ago, it gave me this new leaf that I have just been enamored with, like so beautiful. And then this is the newest leaf that is still expanding, so I'm trying really hard not to touch it. I am a little bit concerned because it was getting caught over on my small philodendron strawberry shake in the cabinet, so you know, it's looking a little funky over on this side, but look at how beautiful. It is such a pretty plant. I was a little bit afraid of it because I got a Carla hybrid. Was it also last year or maybe at the end of the previous year? And I would have to see what the Carla hybrid was. But then I also got a pure Carla, and both of those plants promptly, I mean, they didn't acclimate. I mean, I had them in a prop box. I tried, not a prop box, one of my clear boxes where I keep my acclimations and stuff like that. And neither of them made it. They promptly unalived, and I was really scared. I do still want and would love a pure Carla, but I don't know if like they're just harder to care for, or maybe the specimens I got weren't great. I don't know. But when I got this one, I was really nervous again because I had just lost those other two. But this has been so much easier to grow, so rewarding, so beautiful. And I love it. I don't think I've had it that long either, which technically it shouldn't even really be on my list because I try to keep plants that I really have had like a full experience with. But I do think I've had it for long enough to say that it's truly been a highlight of my year, and I've enjoyed growing it so much and would highly recommend this hybrid if you like Anthurium or you would like a Carla hybrid. Or maybe Carla, you've tried with Carlas and they're just a little bit too difficult. I mean, I don't know. Are they difficult? Maybe it's just the ones that I got. But yeah, I would highly recommend this one. Very beautiful, very rewarding. And I would say decent growth rate because this leaf was less than a month ago and I already have this one. I showed you this one in my 2025 wrapped, but I couldn't not show you. This is my Alocasia Venom. So I got her, I want to say in the spring or just before spring, and I actually had to restart her. I had forgotten that whole thing happened. But over summer, when I wasn't well and my plants were extra neglected and they suffered and whatever, she ended up like rotting, and like the roots rotted like from dry rot, and I had to completely restart the plant. She did have a pup, and I have the pup over in my Visto shelf that's also now growing a pup. But this is the original mother, and I mean, I'll have to look for the date of when I restarted her because I want to say I restarted her maybe in August, so 3 or 4 months ago. And she has two pups now because I recently traded one of the pups for another plant, and I'll show you that in another video. But I love this plant. She has been so fun to grow. She's so different, so unique from anything else. She has these characteristics that are just, I don't know, like the curly little tips. The color is stunning, both front and back, honestly. And then the fact that she's a fast and vigorous grower and corn producer, like that's just the icing on the cake. And I wonder why this became so expensive if they grow so fast and so easily produce corms, or maybe I just got really lucky with the specimen that I happened to get. But she has been an absolute joy to grow, and I highly recommend her if you're into Alocasia, you're into silvery plants, you're into unique looking plants. Like, she's just fast grower. Yeah, she's been so fun. I may have also mentioned this one in my favorites last year, but I mean, can't help it. It is none other than my Alocasia longiloba purple. This is my original mama, and I'm not mentioning the baby because I still don't know if the baby is quite like my mama. I think that she might be different, like a different cultivar, subcultivar. I don't know. Listen, she's still very purple, but she's very matte, whereas my mother is very glossy. I don't know. I love them both, but my mother takes the spot for sure. She is a pretty slow grower. I do have a new leaf coming in, emerging here, which is exciting, and I'm excited to see what her size is going to be. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind her being a 1 or a 2 leafer. Actually, when she was really thriving, because I also had to restart her when the whole cabinet situation started, or I think it's actually when I wasn't feeling well. She also got dry rot and all of that. So I had to restart her, and yeah, so it just took her a little bit longer. Where was I going with this? Oh, before all of that, when she was thriving, she was holding on to like 3 leaves at a time. So I'm hopeful that she will get back to that soon. And yeah, she's currently living in my Mills Bowl tall cabinet. She had lived in my wide for most of her life, but she outgrew that. Like, she's so tall now, and I'm actually going to be reconfiguring my Mills Bowl tall cabinet to ensure that I continue to have plenty of space for her, because she does have these really long petioles. But I love her. She is my prized possession in my collection, and in case you don't know, if you've heard the story, sorry, but in case you don't know, here it is again. I purchased this as a tiny itty bitty plant plug that had no characteristics. It was listed as a longiloba lucifer silver, and I mean, when it arrived, it looked like it could probably be silver eventually. It was itty bitty. I actually unboxed it here with you, and I think like the 3rd leaf it grew, it just blew my mind that it was like bright purple. I couldn't believe it. I shared it, and I think we all went nuts over it, because many of us hadn't seen a plant like this, or this plant at all. I had no idea that a plant could naturally produce such bright, vibrant purple on its leaf, like as its primary color. Like, it just blew my mind. So yeah, this plant holds a very, very special place in my heart, and I love her. And again, the fact that I also restarted her probably around the same time as the venom, and she has given me this huge leaf already. I think I only did, like, I didn't chop the chunk, I just like rerooted it. So I hope that it'll continue to just grow and upsize as it had. And yeah, if you can get your hands on one, I highly, highly recommend it. This one's gonna be tricky, and I'm probably gonna have to insert B-roll as well, but that's okay. Next, we're gonna talk about my massive Philodendron Splendid. Yeah, you can't really see him, so I'll just hold on to him here and I'll insert better B-roll. This has been such a joy to grow this year. I mean, I keep saying it, I'm just so impressed that someone like me, chronic underwater, can neglect her plants very much, can grow such huge leaves, huge, beautiful leaves. I mean, again, testament to the plant's hardiness, but I have just enjoyed growing this plant so much. And then also, I did it with you, but it was actually on a very tall pole, over 6 feet tall, and it had lost most of its bottom leaves. So I took a cutting sometime in the spring also, I believe. I took the top cut and I placed it right in pon, and this is a top cut that's continued to grow. I thought for sure it was gonna shock. I would lose some of the original leaves, if not all of them. And while they did get some damage, some of the original leaves, it didn't drop them, and it also didn't like revert inside, or revert, is that the? It continued to upsize its leaves regardless of the chop. So yeah, I've just been so excited, so proud of this plant. I mean, like, this is 2 leaves ago, and look at how huge it is. It has a new beautiful leaf coming out right over here, and yeah, I'm so excited. And It's been such a joy to grow. It is pretty big and can get pretty massive, obviously, as you can see. I tend to attach the petioles as close to the pole as I can to try to control some of its wingspan, because yeah, it can just get very, very large. And obviously I think that to an extent we all have space restrictions, right, with our plants. So yeah, that's something that I do to try to keep it a little bit more compact. But she's been, she, I don't know. It's been such a joy to grow, and I would highly recommend it if you want and would like these big, impressive leaves in your collection. Splendid, without a doubt. Go for it, because it's easy, it's resilient, it's hardy, and it'll upsize so quickly and grows really fast too. Similar but different is my Philodendron verrucosum. I also recently spoke about him in my 2025 Wrapped, and I just can't not mention him. He is gorgeous. This plant is truly, truly stunning. It's so beautiful. This is a new leaf that's still expanding, pretty soft, but it's got like these pillowy leaves that are perfectly heart-shaped. They're velvety. The markings on them are just unreal. The fuzzy petioles. Ooh, can you see that? Maybe. The markings behind the leaves. Like, this plant just looks gorgeous from any angle that you see it. And this isn't an easy one. So I think maybe that's why I'm enjoying it a little bit more, because I really set my mind and put a lot of effort into growing this plant. And when I say a lot of effort, to be honest, it's really not that serious. I'm just on top of its watering, because it does not tolerate being underwatered, and I am on top of pest prevention. I do my DIY pest prevention every single watering, and I try to alternate. Like, sometimes I'll do just soapy water, sometimes I'll add the rest of my DIY recipe to it, just, you know, to keep it on its toes. I tried to grow this the first time and it went horribly wrong very, very quickly. It quickly got attacked by spider mites and did not make it. And I took wet sticks, and these were all, this is 3 plants in here. These were all grown from wet sticks. There is kind of 2 plants that are really like growing on the pole, and then there's the 3rd one that's just hanging out a little bit smaller and more juvenile. I do need to attach actually the 2 plants that are growing back into the pole, because you can see, maybe not, this is like coming off the pole. But yeah, I love it. It's such a beautiful plant. If you are willing to put in that little bit extra effort, it's totally worth it. It lives on top of my desk. Its primary and only light source is that southwest facing window or glass door. So it really doesn't get, I don't want to say consistent great light, because again, it's pretty covered there, but it's lived there all year and it's grown well all year. Even now, again, it has, this is a new leaf, this is a new leaf, and then this tiny one. All 3 vines are giving me new leaves. So yeah, I would say it's not super picky with light. It's mostly the watering for me, and then obviously for me making sure that I keep pests at bay, because this really got like devoured when I first had it. But it is gorgeous. Again, another like pride and joy this year, because it went so horribly wrong the first time. I'm so proud that I'm able to grow it, and it's so beautiful. I've really just been admiring it every day. I come in here and it's the first thing I see, the first thing I look at. It, especially this time of year, light really shines through that glass door all day, or as long as we have daylight, and it's so gorgeous. This is the last one before we move on to the honorable mentions, and it might surprise you, because honestly it surprised me a little bit too. It's very, very heavy, and I might need to insert B-roll. It is my Anthurium clarinervium. I accidentally called it crystallinum in a reel the other day. I am for sure going to have to insert B-roll. It is massive, and I did try to pollinate it, and I think that it may have worked. I can't properly balance this probably. Can you see like the little bumps? So I'm really excited and eager to see what'll happen, but I feel like this plant just begs to be pollinated because I constantly get inflows on her. I for sure need to just insert B-roll for this one because it is so massive and it's also just very heavy. She lives in pond and I think it's in like a 12-inch pot and it's very heavy on its own, but also I just filled the reservoir I think like yesterday, so it's a little bit extra heavy, but I just find this plant to be so beautiful. I love the veining. I know that some people prefer more of like just the dark minimal veining, and while some of those or a lot of those look very beautiful as well, I love the markings on this. I love it. It's just, I think it's so beautiful. Again, it has like pretty heart-shaped leaves. I want to say it grows pretty consistently, not fast, but consistent. And yeah, gives me lots of inflows. This is the second time I attempt to pollinate it. The first time I tried, I actually do think that it had worked because the inflow had remained on for like a couple of months, but then as I was getting it out to water, I broke it off. But I had never saw the inflow get those little bumps like this one over here is getting. So, I mean, I don't know, but I'm really excited. Like I just feel like it's one of those things that we can like just claim as plant parents, like, ooh, look at what I did, look what I was able to do. But yeah, so this lives over in the living room, and it lives, its primary light source is that glass door and window that faces southwest, but it is covered, so it's not like it's getting scorched. For a while, it was living next to my fireplace, getting like low light at best, and it wasn't growing as much, but it was still growing and like maintaining very beautifully. I find clarinervium to be really easy. I think this is like an entry-level Anthurium. If you are interested in Anthuriums and want to see what it's like, give it a go, because I mean, this was like the gateway Anthurium for me. Once I got this and I was able to grow it and saw how easy it was, then it gave me the confidence to look into more Anthurium. And yeah, it's just been so fun to see. I love to see the itty bitty leaves come in and then they expand into these massive things. I'm trying to find, this may be the newest leaf. Yeah, I think this is the newest leaf right here. So this is the size of it. If you can see correctly, again, I will insert B-roll so that you can get a better look, but I love it. I think it's beautiful and I really enjoyed it a lot this year. We are moving on to the honorable mentions, and the first two are two more Anthurium. So this is my, I believe this is Silver Blush Luxuriant. I got it as an itty bitty seedling. I think I got it this year. Oh, this leaf is still expanding, so I have to be very careful with it. But look how beautiful it is. It's so pretty. And then the one I got in a trade, this is my Red Crystal Mag Luxuriant Hybrid. This has been on my wish list for so long, and I'm so excited that I was able to get this in a trade. So, I mean, it's beautiful. And if you ask me to pick between the two, I don't know that I can. Okay, here's what I'll say. I think, no, actually I can't. I can't say. This has obviously a rounder leaf. This is a little bit more elongated. I will say the color is a little bit more interesting on this one, whereas I happen to really love the round leaf here. But again, I cannot pick. And I think it's funny because in one of my videos, I was saying like that they were kind of, this one was a little bit of a faster grower versus this one. And then ever since I said that, they're like literally growing simultaneously. Like they both started to shoot out these new leaves at the exact same time. They're both still expanding. And yeah, they're just beautiful. And they're honorable mentions because I haven't had them that terribly long to really be able to say like these were my favorite all year. I feel like really they just, especially this one, really just started growing. And oh my God, this light, maybe this is a little better. Anyway, I'll say that I feel like it was maybe over the last 2 or 3 months or so that these really started like growing and coming to their own and like giving me more of their characteristics. So yeah, I just don't feel like I can really say like, oh, it was a favorite all year. But I mean, if they keep this up, like they're so beautiful. I love them so much. Another honorable mention, I want to give this to my Hoya polyneura outer variegated. So this is the albo marginara. She's grown a ton. I got this from a tiny little bit of like a tiny cutting. I ended up chopping and propagating to make this full bushy plant. This is what I have today. She was getting like pretty bleached when I had her over in my console before I moved her, like the white console. I had her like too close to a grow light, and I don't think the polyneura likes that much light. I mean, obviously the albo, but it's just like such a small like area of albo in the margin that overall she prefers lower light. But I really enjoyed this one, and I mean, polyneura is one of my favorite plants, so I had to mention her. And the last honorable mention is going to be another Anthurium, my Anthurium pallidiflorum. If you've been on that journey with me recently, you know that it's currently not looking great and not doing its best, or maybe it's trying its best, but we don't know yet. It's not looking good. But up until 3 weeks ago or so, I had been enjoying that plant so much. I'll insert footage. It was almost as tall as me. I really thoroughly enjoyed that plant all year, again, up until 3-ish weeks ago when that whole thing happened. And I've talked about it enough, but I can link the video in case you don't know, because it did happen on camera. But I had to mention it because it was truly such a pride and joy this year, and that was also one of my first Anthuriums, and I was like just so afraid and didn't know how it would go, and it's just been such a joy to grow, and I highly recommend that plant, and I'm hopeful that mine will make a good comeback. That's it. That's my favorites for 2025. I'd love to hear what were some of your favorites this year. What do you think of my list? Were you surprised by my list or by your list? I love to have these conversations and just like maybe things that like we automatically think in our heads, and then when we really stop and evaluate, you're like, wait a second. Like, I am shocked actually that I had these like 2 big climbing philodendrons and so many Anthurium, like really no Hoya on my list. I mean, I had the honorable mention, but yeah, the one that I thought that I would be mentioning, my original polyneura, also I can link that video if you want to see it. But it's also fun because it's difficult for you to have like, or for you to enjoy every single year the same plants, because things just ebb and flow with this hobby, and you know, we get thrown curveballs with our plants and our plant care and like what might happen. Also, life happens, so sometimes your favorite plant is not the most enjoyable at the moment. So anyway, I think it's fun to reflect on that and have those conversations. So I'd love to hear what some of your favorite plants were this year, and were you surprised at all by them? With that, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you're seeing this, I think this is probably going to go up after Christmas if you celebrate, but either way, happy holidays. I hope that you've had a wonderful season and continue to enjoy it, and I will see you very soon. Bye.